Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Shooting the with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today's topic is the final video in our series of Best Gun from the Decades, and today we're going to be doing the 1980s. So what I want to know is what you think is the best handgun to come out between 1980 and 1989. I will get it started as usual here. And I will say this was a hard one for me. You know, I almost went with the Beretta M9, came out in the 80s. But, you know, it's too much like the 92 FS. I can't really consider it a different gun. Then I almost went with the Bren 10. Wasn't what I'd call a hugely successful gun, but it was a very cool gun, chambered in 10 millimeter, had some public exposure on TV. So I almost went with the Bren 10. I would love to have a Bren 10. So I almost went that way. But then I thought, well, you know, there's another gun that I think is actually better. And it's the Ruger GP100. Ruger didn't bring out the GP100 until the mid-80s. You know, it seems like it's been around forever, but it hasn't. And it's one of the better guns I think ever came out of the 80s. It's still around in multiple configurations. It's a high-quality gun. It is a dependable gun. It is a gun that no one would be ashamed to own or carry. So I think that that is the one that I say is the best gun to come out in the 1980s. And I did have to ignore things like, you know, I almost went Glock, but I also had to say, well, you know, if a Smith & Wesson came out and it was just another variation of one that came out earlier, well, then I didn't count it. Like if it was a 39-7 or whatever, and the 31-9-1 came out in the 70s, well, then it didn't count as a new gun. But with doing it the way it did it, like I said, the winner for me is the Ruger GP100. So let's go see what other people have to say. See if they agree with me, disagree with me, think I'm retarded. Well, that would have nothing to do with this, but still. John Heasley, well, he took the low-hanging fruit and went with the G17. I think we'll see a lot of the G17 on the list today. But yeah, that was one I considered too, but I figured out other people are going to mention it, so I won't need to. Of course, the SIG P226, no question, my first gun. It is a very good gun. I considered that one, but I figured somebody would say that one too. And I kind of want to say something nobody'd say. But I don't know if I will get away with it without anybody saying the GP100, but I was hoping. Sean Bain, member of Team Beatus, said Glock 17, the original plastic fantastic. You know, he got that all right. Plastic fantastic. Yeah, the Glock 17, like I said, I think that we're going to see that multiple times. Genesis 230 PB donated some funny money and said, wasn't alive in the 80s. Ooh, fuck you. Yet, so I can't judge on the topic, but instead I would like to ask, since when you have a Maverick and what it replaced. Oh, we got it a few weeks ago, and it replaced the Ford Mach-E GT because we didn't need an electric car anymore. Johnny Mandrick said, YouTube is not letting me send. F YouTube. I agree. F YouTube. DM Faust chimed in. Mr. Fat Salami. He chimed in and said the Bren 10. That was one of the ones I considered. And then I kind of wondered, is anyone going to say the Bren 10? Because if they don't, I will have been sad that I didn't choose it. But now I'm not sad I didn't choose it because he chose the Bren 10. Johnny Mandrick says the P226 may be the best gun ever. It's definitely in the top 10. I would say that. Of course, the top 5 are all going to be revolvers. But, you know, the P226 is in the top 10. I will give it that. Edgar Cortez chimed in and says, the gun that started it all, the Glock 17, first gun I ever bought or owned, and a great gun. It still is. Yeah, they're still around. They're still great. They're in different generations now, but still came out in the 80s and still running strong with just some minor, mostly cosmetic changes, some ergonomic changes, slight, but mostly just minor changes and still around. That's a good sign. When something can stay pretty much the same for most of its life. That's a good sign. Mikey D said Colt Delta Elite 10 millimeter 1987. The Delta Elite is awesome. And one of the first, really viable 10 millimeter guns, the Bren 10, etc. There weren't a whole lot of 10 millimeter guns around at the time. So it was nice having a couple options. In Glycerin said the Colby Striker 12, so cool they banned it. Cobra. I don't know if that's why they banned it. I don't know if they banned it because it's cool. But I will accept your answer. Mad Dog said Bren 10. And then he asked if I have P.O. boxes and cash too. I don't take cash for the pets and vets and stuff. Just so people know, I have to keep it to where there's a good, solid digital record of everything we do. So I'm always on the up and up. Can't do that when people send me money. So that's why we don't allow that, just so people know. Because all the money goes to animal charities and sometimes veteran charities, and we want to make sure it keeps doing that. Because I know my weaknesses. You give me someone rolls up a boatload of money and sends it to me. That might not make it where it needs to go. I might end up later that day with, manicured nails, out to here with the press-ons and a nice new necklace, and being like, I never saw no money. With a gold tooth, with a diamond in it. We actually have a big diamond that belonged to my mother-in-law that's in there in our safe. And it's big enough to replace both my front teeth. So I've kind of wanted to go get a gold crown even through here and mount that diamond in the middle. And then tell me who's successful. We inherited it. I didn't pay for it, but still. In Glycerin says, actually the lady's home companion, technically a pistol. The lady's home, I'm not sure. I know that has a vague ring to it, but I'm confused. Richard Wilson said the pig. I always say pig 226. Because it's hard to say Sig P. I say pig. Pig 226. Love my MK25. Yes, it's one of the best guns ever made. I agree. And it came out in the 80s. P-Gar. I don't know if we've heard from P-Gar in a while here. I love my Davis Industries P380 and P32. When I asked Alexa, Django, shut up. When I asked Alexa a few minutes ago what was the best handgun of the 80s, she said the P32. Talk about weird. Mr. Furley said the Sig P226 or the Beretta M9. Well, you're the first one to say the M9. And I kind of wanted to go with the M9 myself, but I was like, is it different enough from the 92 FS to make a difference? But I guess it is. But then I figured maybe somebody else will say it. Now somebody else said it. So good. Paul B says, Hail Phil, third generation Smith & Wesson's 1066, my favorite. They were definitely ahead of their time, I think. Ahead of their time. Edgar Cortez said, read my emails for the no FUD topic. Well, that's got nothing to do with this, but I did read it, and we are going to cover it. So, see, people can send emails. People always say, you don't answer anything that isn't paid. Well, we do that during the first one because that's the way we got to do it. But emails are like the second priority on our list of things we answer. It don't cost nothing to send an email. And I usually stick around until we get all the questions answered in the chat too. Unless we like all emails and super chats where people are actually donating to save animals. Then there's been times where we didn't get to the live chat at all. But that just means a lot of people were being generous for pets and vets that day. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. Smith & Wesson 686 by far. Welper, get on that. Chunky D77 said Glock 17. But then he cheated it. He put another one in, which I don't know if that's technically cheating. He said Tech 9. Tech 9. And that looks like he was the last one weighing in for tonight's topic. We got one more person weighing in here, but it's Donnie W. And he just said, do you have a P.O. box for surprises? I did. And then I realized I never checked it. So the post office just canceled it because they're like, it got full and you never checked it. But it was all just junk. They had it all in a box and I went through it and it was all just junk. It was like junk mail, like, advertisements for political people and stuff like that. So, I think mainly the reason I never got anything from viewers is I don't think I ever told anybody I had it or what it was. So, we got one more person weighing in here at the last minute. It's Karashnikov, and he said, Wilkinson Arms, Linda. There's a gun named Linda? Well, I'd like to look that one up. So I'm still wondering about the 686. I think that was early 80s. I think they're still in, but was it 70? No, it might have been 80, 1980. So I think they're good, but we'll see here in a little bit when I get to the middle of the chats. But that's going to do it for us today for the first section here. How about you all out there in YouTube land? What do you think was the best handgun to come out in the 1980s? Is it still around today? Maybe you even carry it. Let me know in the comment section below. If you want to weigh in on one of these topics in person, come to our live chats. We do them every day at 6 p.m. So come on in. We'll be here. You're welcome, no matter what your political affiliation or anything else. As long as you can take a joke or handle someone questioning your opinions, or someone differing from your opinions, then you're welcome here. So come on in. Also, you can stick around for the after chat where we just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So hope to see you at a chat soon, especially if you've never been to one before. And everyone else out there that weighed in today, I want to thank you for weighing in and say I hope to see you at the chat again tomorrow. So until then, remember, everybody out there, always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Hey everybody, Yankee here. Before we go, I just want to take a second to remind everyone that this channel is 100% viewer funded. We don't take a penny from advertisers, retailers. We don't take money from political organizations. There's no one telling me what I need to tell you. Everything that we do is done through the generosity of our viewers, either buying merchandise or becoming a patron or a Subscribe Star member. You're all the ones that support Pets and Vets and TYMP. And that's the reason I can stay true to myself and loyal only to the people who watch my channel. And I can spend my time talking about what I want to talk about, telling what I think needs to be said, and giving you my uncensored take on things I think you need to hear. So if you'd like to help keep things that way, please support the channel by becoming a patron, a Subscribe Star supporter, or just going over to my web store and buying some merch. The links are all in the upper corner of this video.